Hey everyone, Ben Cooper Radio, episode number 189. Now, this is part two of the Confessions podcast. A podcast where apparently a lot of people have been waiting for. Everyone really appreciated the honesty that I had in Confessions podcast part one. They really resonated with what I'm trying to do in the industry, what I do as a practitioner, what I try and teach. And you know what? It's really appreciated. Let me just say that. I really appreciate the people that support my work, support what I do, why I do it, the message that I try and convey. I appreciate, you tagging people in, sharing stuff with people, trying to spread the message to help support what I do as a practitioner. So I want to say thank you back for showing the support. It doesn't go unnoticed. A lot of the work that I do in the fitness industry is about creating a greater sense of change, creating a movement, allowing people to say, look, there's this guy, he talks an awful lot of sense. Go and listen to his podcast, go and read this book, go and read this blog, whatever it might be. I've put so much information out there over the years, colossal amount of information, and there's probably something for everyone somewhere at some kind of starting point. So for people that are sharing my stuff and helping this kind of grow, I just want to reach out and say thank you. It wouldn't have kept happening if it wasn't for you, and that's just a genuine thank you. So in the first part of the Confessions podcast, I kind of talked about my first 10 years in the fitness industry, and today I'm going to talk about probably the last 2 years and some more recent stuff in terms of my evolution of a practitioner and what I've tried to do and achieve. So if you haven't listened to the first Confessions podcast, go back and listen to it. There's a huge amount of information and learnings that can kind of happen there. I talked about my journey, how I evolved as a practitioner, where I learned, why I learned, what it shaped me as a person in terms of my thought process and how I coached and taught. I talked about my own journey nutritionally with kind of gluten, dairy, and some other kind of more personal stuff. I talked about gut health and gut issues as a whole and how my opinion and the researchers' opinion has evolved and how it will continue to evolve. I looked at hormonal health as well, like alternative therapies, functional medicine, and then I kind of started to talk about, principles that I have as a person, what I want you to get out of your life. I want you to live an awesome life. I don't want you to be scared of failure. I want you to look to continually progress, but not in an obsessive way. Like health and fitness can get immensely obsessive sometimes. Like people are just all the time going through this kind of day-to-day motion of got to do this, got to do that, got to eat this way, got to train that way. And yeah, I get all that. That's brilliant. But remember why you do this health and fitness stuff. You do this health and fitness stuff to lead a better life. That's it. I'm on this planet to live an awesome life. You should be on this planet to live an awesome life. And the steps that you take every day, the things that you do should be conductive to that. It shouldn't rule your life. And, I get that we've talked about this on the podcast before about not letting health and fitness rule your life. Don't. If something happens and you've got to skip the gym for a day or whatever, cool, whatever. Don't stress about it. Like, honestly, give a fuck. Adjust your diet. Don't eat as much, get back on it the next day, catch up, whatever, do 2 sessions the next day. It doesn't really matter. So much obsession has been made in fitness. I really want people to get away from this. Don't get me wrong, we need consistency. If you want to achieve something, you got to get stuck in and do it. But there's this kind of fine line between obsession and kind of consistency towards a goal that we kind of need to get balanced to. So I've talked a lot about my journey, and today I want to kind of talk about TDT, transdermal technology initially, and kind of the rationale of why I set it up. So for people that are watching on video, I'm showing the products. If they've never seen it, you might not have seen it. We developed recovery spray and performance spray, and we also had some bath salts which went alongside the recovery product. So why did we do this? So I started using magnesium spray about, I can't think back now. It's probably about 3 years ago when I was working in the gym with Andy McKenzie, the training lab, which I helped him set up. And I started using magnesium more. There was a company doing it called Better You. And I grabbed a bottle, can't remember why or how. I think it might have been at a trade show or something. Always at trade shows, looking for new ideas, geeking out, talking to people, which I know a lot of you guys are as well. So I picked up this magnesium oil and I started experimenting with it, and I was like, man, this stuff is cool. Like, and then I started experimenting more. You know, I did like an arm session. I'd put it on one arm and then not the other arm, and I'd notice a profound difference. Like, one arm the next day was like not absolutely fine, but you know, I didn't really know properly whether, you know, I trained it, whereas the other arm, there was DOMS, there was an aching. So it kind of made me think, like, wow, actually, that's, for someone that trains, that's quite profound. I've used a product that makes me feel a lot less sore the next day. I am sold. Because as an individual into fitness, I want to do that thing the next day. Like, I train most days. I don't want to go into my next training session not feeling the absolute nuts. So when I found magnesium oil, I was like, this stuff is brilliant. So I started researching it. I started researching transdermal technology. I started looking at the theory, the application, how it could evolve, and it got me interested. And being as someone that always likes to do stuff, I like projects, I like things to work on. You know, I have a spirit of progression. I like to create things and help other people and progress. And so I started playing around with my own formula. I started buying some stuff, mixing it up, then speaking to a couple of companies, asking them. And I also started to look at, you know, things that might aid in transdermal absorption, things that we might be deficient in, that kind of you know, exercise depletes more. So I ended up creating Recovery Spray. And as a result of working with a company, they sort of said, well, have you thought about the ergogenic side of it? Like, we've got a product that we have been testing in China. Some people in America have started to look at the idea as well. Why don't you look at the idea? And that was the idea of absorbing caffeine through the skin. And at the time, I would probably say that I was an absolute coffee lover. Would drink coffee in the morning when I woke up, would drink coffee throughout the day. Absolutely loved coffee, and I know you guys love it as well. But during that same time of me training all the time, growing my business, working in the gym, running the business outside of it, working part-time for a sports team as well to help them on match day and all this kind of stuff, I was getting very burnt out. I wasn't managing my stress effectively. I could have been sleeping better despite the fact that I knew as a practitioner I should be getting to bed in time. And I kind of thought, you know, something kind of needed to be done. Went and visited a practitioner. They started to talk about caffeine, how much I consumed, and then it might be having an effect on my kind of adrenal glands, my adrenaline stimulation, and just not really aiding me to address the root cause of the problem, which is what I was doing too much of. So I decided to go cold turkey from caffeine. I cut it all out. Obviously felt awful for a while, and then I came around. I felt a lot better, felt amazing. I really liked the way that my energy kind of started to improve. And this all was tying in at the same time as I was playing around with this transdermal stuff. So I sort of said to myself, look, caffeine's out of my diet. And now when I take caffeine, so I'd become quite sensitive to it by taking it out. Now when I take caffeine, it kind of blows my head off. Like, I need a bit of a, you know, smallish dose to get the effect because I'm that much more sensitive. So I kind of thought to myself, well, is there a way to put caffeine into the body for it not to be quite as potent that you end up feeling like jittery or slightly uncontrolled or anything like that, and for it to not last as long in the bloodstream? Because that's the thing with caffeine, right? You ingest it and it hangs around for up to 6 hours in the bloodstream, which can be a problem. If you want to train at 7 o'clock at night and you want to have a cup of coffee beforehand, chances are you might still be up at midnight, you know, struggling to sleep. So that was a problem. So with me exploring this kind of transdermal technology stuff, with me talking to this company that were exploring this kind of area of application, and with me going through these personal issues with adrenal, overall stress, caffeine, that kind of stuff, I thought, well, can we apply caffeine through the skin? Anything that's applied on the skin is absorbed quite quickly. Can we sort of look to put caffeine on the skin, goes in quick, comes out quick? Let's try the theory. So I developed, you know, a bit of a formula based on the kind of traditional energy drinks that you have and the kind of components that we traditionally use for ergogenic effects, you know, like caffeine, like guarana, etc. And I put this formula together and we started testing it, and we noticed an effect, or I noticed effect, because I was very sensitive to caffeine. Did other people notice as much of an effect? No, because most people overconsume caffeine or have a lot of caffeine in their diet or have poor sensitivity to it because we consume a lot. So that was obviously a problem for me in the testing sort of phase, but I really believed in it. Like, I was like, this stuff is like, it's cool. Like, I want to explore it more. It's working for me. But the problem is, and this is going to transpire as we go through this podcast. The problem is everyone wasn't like me. Everyone wasn't going to make the same lifestyle steps as me. So I ended up creating a product which ended up being really, 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 really niche for the people that did want to go like really sensitive to caffeine, cut it all out, etc. And then you could kind of argue that the product is not as potent as it could be because we know how much of an impact well-dosed oral caffeine could be. Anyway, we went into researching, and I thought, do you know what? We need to get some research on this performance spray. It's going to be very hard for me to go into the fitness industry with a kind of product and say, oh, this works. It's got no research behind it. Yeah, sorry. So we went to Manchester Met University, who were willing to work with us, and we gave them the formula, and they started to kind of test various parameters like just general excitation, strength, contraction of muscle tissue and stuff. And there seemed to be a bit of a benefit, but again, there was loads of outliers because loads of the people in the testing group would have been not very sensitive to caffeine, and we got lots of mixed results. So some results, showed an effect. Some results, no effect. Some results, same as the placebo. Remember, the placebo is a powerful thing. Like, so this is a spray. So if I spray this onto my hands and rub it in, there's almost going to be straight away a placebo effect that I'm now putting something on my hands, spraying it, smelling it, because it's got a really potent menthol smell. I'm now getting... this is working, this is going to be brilliant. And we had many people that would contact us and go, God, I almost feel it's working just by putting it on and smelling it. And, placebos are powerful. We shouldn't dismiss the idea of a placebo. I know there's arguments to say, oh, well, placebo's just placebo, it's all in your head, just fix your mindset anyway. But that's how the human brain works. The human brain wants to believe that there is something that can help it and drive it on. That's why people look externally for motivation, inspiration, and ideas, because they need that stimulus. They need something to believe in, whether that's a person or a product or a process or kind of a way of thinking. So we got this research report from Manchester Met University, and they were like, look, there's some positive stuff in here, but it basically comes down to who is really sensitive to caffeine. Like, you need to be really sensitive to caffeine. Who is going to take, how are you going to personalize the dose? How are you going to kind of communicate to this consumer? And I was so pumped up about the recovery spray and the potential of performance spray that, we went to market. I'd already invested, so much time and obviously financial investment. And I thought, look, we're going to go to market. We're going to get consumer feedback. We're going to see what people think, and we're going to test it out. And we went to market, and lots of people bought the product, which is amazing. If you ever bought these products, and I'm just going to say thank you very much for believing in what I was trying to put across in the first place. And it transpired that everyone seemed to love recovery spray. The only thing, and I'll backtrack a little bit, the only thing people didn't like about recovery spray is that it seemed to make people's skin red, because we put an ingredient in it called niacin, which creates a heat flush effect on the skin, which improves blood flow, but it can make you really red, and a lot of people were getting a reaction to this. Anyway, we've taken that ingredient out, so you'll no longer get this problem. I digress. So coming back to performance spray, some people were saying they really liked it, some people were saying they didn't, some people said it was a load of shit. Fair enough, absolutely fair cop. The chances are that the people that said that they liked it probably had already followed my previous advice and thought process, and maybe had looked to start to cut out caffeine, slept better, just improve their overall lifestyle, and were probably more sensitive to it. And there's probably a section of those people that were being influenced by the placebo effect of it. So we carried on with TDT and we started to push it into various markets, especially like adventure racing and a bit of bodybuilding, with the kind of markets that we thought would be really appropriate for a product of this nature. And it just started to become more and more difficult to get buy-in from two products that were so niche without this kind of understanding of where supplements are in the kind of marketplace. And I felt I kind of shot myself in the foot by creating something that was so niche and so much so about transdermal technology, which has its limitations anyway. Like, I can't create a full supplement line out of transdermal technology because there's so many other different supplements that you might need just from a health basis. And then I kind of started to stand back, and throughout this reflection process that I've been going on sort of throughout the last year, I sort of asked myself, why am I doing all of this? And I initially set up TDT because I think when people like to do fun stuff, like I like to do fun stuff, I like to think of ideas, I like to be creative, you kind of have this urge to innovate. And I kind of thought, well, if I can do this, if I can innovate, it'll be really cool. Like Ben Cooper would have done some really cool stuff in the industry. He's done this TDT thing, like brilliant, wow. And that's all well and good, but I speak a lot about values, right? If anyone's been to a talk of mine where I've gone a bit deep on my values and why, you'll understand that I'm a very value-driven person. And through looking at this kind of innovation of transdermal technology, I'd kind of satisfied some of my values, but some of the values that were lower down the list. And higher up the list, I hadn't sort of looked at the kind of education factor and what I truly want to do in the fitness industry. Like, I truly want in the fitness industry to have people live an awesome life. And the way that I can do that is to educate people, to empower people with information to facilitate change within themselves. I'm not someone that says, look, this is the way you should eat, do this, do that, train like this. I don't. I give people life skills. I'm like, this is the way you should start to look at your diet. Have you thought about doing this? These are good ways to train. These are changes that you should make in your lifestyle. And I want people to explore it and experiment with it and, just evolve it themselves rather than me being dogmatic in my approach. And I thought, you know what? I've built a company that's got 3 core products, that's very niche, that's very targeted, that does educate, but educates on very limited research. And I thought, with this, I'm not empowering people to live an awesome life. I'm just giving someone a cool product. And for me, that wasn't good enough. And it was a tough realization to have as an individual. And I've talked a lot about self-awareness recently. Like, I'm a very self-aware individual, and I've become very self-aware over the last 18 months. And you need to become very self-aware to live your best life. If you can't, then you need to work out a way to be really honest with yourself. Anyway, I was aware that I wasn't doing enough for other people. I wasn't educating people on the process of supplementation, why, and this kind of product just didn't have a bigger mission to me. Like, TDT didn't have a bigger mission. I couldn't stand there and use TDT as a platform to say, look, this is what's happening. This is what the industry's doing. This is why we, need to evolve things. This is the way education needs to be in supplementation. I only had a very small kind of niche voice within TDT. And looking back on Performance Spray, what wasn't needed was a product to put less caffeine into the body. So caffeine is a very powerful, brilliant ergogenic aid. And what we didn't need is to bring that out of the diet completely and put a different form into it. I had innovated where it didn't need innovating. And I hold my hand up to that. What we needed with Performance Spray, or what we needed with an approach of ergogenic aids, largely caffeine, is we needed a more intelligent approach. So we're currently living in a culture where everyone wants to consume caffeine all the time. Breakfast, just after breakfast, mid-morning, lunchtime. We've just got it all in our diet all the time. Coffee, tea, energy drinks, that kind of stuff. And what I didn't need to do was take all that caffeine out of their diet and then put a spray into their hands to help them train. What I needed to do is educate people on their stress, their lifestyle, the implications of caffeine, and then let someone make an informed choice of how they include caffeine in their diet, both from the health perspective, the energy perspective, and the performance perspective. And that's why now, me as an individual, I don't have any caffeine in my diet unless I've had like a bad night's sleep and I need to power through the afternoon, which is, a bit rare, or, I've just maybe really fancy it. I might be, away or something, and I've visited an amazing coffee shop, or largely the only caffeine in my diet is before a training session. That is when I really need it. And you know what? I still have very good sensitivity and my body responds incredibly to it, because that's still a very minimal amount of caffeine dosing in the diet. So I don't have any in my diet. Before training, bam. And this is what I needed to do. I didn't need to create a spray. I didn't need to innovate. I needed to say to people, look, this is the reality. This is what we need to do. This is how caffeine and stress is affecting things. I want you to reduce your intake, and I want you to take it pre-workout, done. And I want you to take it in a dosage that works for you. If you take too much and it makes you jittery, it makes your heart rate too high, etc., then it's had a negative effect. We need to get the dosage right. So as a result of kind of this problem that I felt I had with TDT and not being able to have a bigger voice and a bigger mission with it, and this kind of, faulty innovation with performance spray and then recovery spray, which incredible, like never had a problem with recovery spray apart from one or two of the ingredients, which was an irritant to some people. I kind of had to tip it on its head. And I stood back and I said, look, where am I going with this train of thought? What do I want to do? Let's draw a parallel. Body Type Nutrition is a company that educates and empowers people with nutrition and lifestyle intervention. Our nutrition course, the Academy, teaches general public and trainers what nutrition is, how to do it, how to set it up, what it means, what the science says. And that was a very clear path for Body Type Nutrition. And I hope if someone logs on to the Body Type Nutrition websites, follows their Facebook posts, whatever, I hope you see that. I hope you see that we are an education-based company that is trying to be the voice of reason in health and fitness, largely in the nutrition space. So coming back to supplementation, what did I want to get out of it? Well, I wanted to educate, and I no longer had a platform that I felt was the right platform to educate. So I needed to think about what I wanted to do in the supplementation space. Now think about it, I'm a nutritionist. Supplementation is a big part of nutrition. It's a big part of the conversation. It can add to the overall kind of outcome from a health, recovery and performance perspective. Now around this time, I was working with genetic supplements, and I was probably about, I don't know, I think TDT had probably been around about a year. I could be wrong, I'd have to look at the timelines, but I think, let's say TDT had been around about a year. And I was obviously working with genetics. I had worked on a handful of their formulas, looked to improve it, and throughout this kind of process, genetic supplements cancelled my contract. So I was no longer working with genetic supplements. They didn't want me to be involved anymore, which is, it's great, that's part and parcel of life. And, I then had to stand back and, throughout everything I've just talked about for the last 15 minutes, these kind of dilemmas I had, this thought process that I wanted to get through, I said, right, I'm no longer affiliated with a supplement company. I'm not happy currently with the way that I'm trying to teach about supplementation in the fitness industry. What do? I've got two options. I affiliate with a new supplement company. So I potentially, some people might see it jump ship. I could go and join, I don't know, name any supplement company. I could potentially go and join them. I could become an expert, start putting out content, yada, yada, yada. Or what's the other option? You create your own company. And that's what I did. That's what I've done. I've created my own company. I've created awesome supplements. I should have had them sitting here already, but I didn't. But see, all the products are downstairs in my kitchen, to be fair. But this is what's going down. This is what I'm building up to, and this is why I'm kind of being honest with the process. And I get that a lot of you that are listening to the podcast can't see what I'm holding up to the kind of camera, but I will explain more in a minute. But this is just giving you, the people on the camera, a little bit of a taster of what I'm kind of communicating right now. So I said, look, I've got a chance here to shape people's educational journey in the world of supplementation. I've created BTN, Body Type Nutrition, and I want people to understand nutrition and lifestyle. I currently don't have an avenue to teach people about supplementation and all the crap that is out there. And that's one of the things that hugely winds me up about the supplement world, is that companies are advertising their products with athletes that are quite often on steroids, enhanced, whatever you want to call it. They're selling us supplements that don't even work. They've cherry-picked research data and they've chosen to embellish claims and buzzwords and prey on our emotions for quick results to kind of sell these products. And there's absolutely loads of supplements that you could kind of list. And, you know, I sat back and go, I want to right that wrong. I want to be the change in the supplement world to say, look, every company's doing the same thing, selling a ton of supplements that don't work. Don't get me wrong, all supplement companies to a degree are selling stuff that does work. I want to be that change. I want to be that shift. I want to say to people, look, you don't need any of that. You need a couple of choice things, and that's it. That's it. And then if you train really hard, maybe use this, this, and this. And if you really want to improve your recovery, maybe use this and this, and that's it. That's it. That's supplementation. And then I started to build the potential around this idea. So this supplement company that I've created is called Awesome Supplements. Now I'm absolutely pumped about that. I'm absolutely pumped about the name, because for me it sums up something that I've been trying to get across. I've been trying to shape, and it's, you know, it's a company that now is a vehicle for bigger change. So the great thing about the product, you buy it, you get it, you feel it, you almost become part of what it's embodying, right? And if, you know, and I recently had my first order of Awesome Supplements as we've been obviously gearing up to the launch. I got my first order through, and as I looked at it, and I looked at the label and it said Awesome Supplements, it started to say something to me. It started to say that what I have here is just a small part of me living an awesome life. That's it. Supplements are only a small part of life. I get that. Supplements are the 5% at the top of the pyramid. That is it. But what I have here is something that adds to my awesome life. It's not my awesome life. So I talked about obsessive gym culture at the beginning. It isn't my life. So many people look at their supplements and they're always posting on Instagram like, oh, you know, can't wait to take my pre-workout, got to get in my post-workout, got to get in this. I get that. I get that we have a connection to that. But people are living it obsessively. That is part of their life. The products that I've created are just adding to this awesome life, this scenario. And if you look at the website, www.awesomesupplements.co.uk, if you look at the website, hopefully you can see what I've tried to do. I've tried to say to people, look, there's a lot of problems currently in the fitness industry. There's a lot of stuff being sold to people that doesn't work. There's a lot of false promises. There's a lot of false hopes. There's a lot of bad, faulty, unethical marketing. What I want to say to you is none of you need supplements until you're ready for them. That's the first thing. No one needs supplements unless they're ready for them. Unless you've addressed your sleep, your training, your lifestyle, your emotional balance, all that stuff, don't even consider the supplements. Because again, it's a financial thing as well. Like, you have to buy supplements, they cost money. And if that money is better spent on buying better quality food, maybe seeing a practitioner because you're in pain, whatever it might be, you need to sort that out first. And then once you're at that level where you're starting to say to yourself, do you know what, I want to evolve myself as a human, I want to be healthier, I want to recover better, I want to perform to a greater degree, then you can consider supplements. So as soon as you log on to the Awesome Supplements website, you will see that I'm educating from the first point of contact. I want people to understand that they don't need supplements, that they need to go away and work on things. And then when they are ready for supplements, maybe try one or two things. Maybe work at it from a health perspective. Because remember, and I've had this message ever since I've been in this industry, health first. If you don't concentrate on health, what is the point? Focus on health and then start to build recovery into it. Trust me, if you recover better, you will perform better. So there's this like 3-step process with supplementation. Work on your health, then work on your recovery, and then work on your performance, and keep tying in recovery and health off the back end of it. Because once you nail health and then you nail recovery, if you change and push your performance, your health and recovery will need to take a slight tweak, because you increasing your performance will put extra demands on the body. You'll put recovery demands on your body, you'll put stress on your body, you'll have an extra calorie need, so you always need to backtrack a little bit. So it is a kind of evolving cycle. So this is part of the future now for me. I'm now going to use Awesome Supplements as a vehicle to help more and more people change. I know that the supplement industry is huge and people always look to supplements for an answer. And I want Awesome Supplements to be able to step in and say, well, this may be an answer, but first, have you looked at your diet? Have you looked at your lifestyle? Have you looked at your training? Have you looked at the whole package? Okay, cool. You don't know about that stuff. Guess what? We're going to help educate you. Here's a couple of ebooks. Like if you look at the sports page on the Awesome Supplements website, there is tons of ebooks. So that whether you go to the gym, whether you play basketball, rugby, do CrossFit, there's an ebook that's going to tell you how to start to build your diet, how to build your training, what supplements you might take in the future. Because if I don't educate you, what's the point? What am I doing this for? Why have I thrown all this TDT stuff in the bin in terms of, dissolving it to pave this new way? Why have I done all that? I've done it to make a bigger vehicle, to create something, to elicit change, to allow people to evolve, be educated, to understand, and not buy in to any more crap that is online and is tried to be sold to us. So there's a big mission here. And I just want to let you know about a couple of values that I had in mind when I built this. So I have my own personal values, and I know that many of you have had that shared with you before. But the values of Awesome Supplements were 1, honesty. We need to be 100% honest with you. 100%. Everything we do, what we create, why we create it, the dosages that we do, our rationale for things, every move we make, we need to be honest to you. Otherwise, I've lost your trust, I've lost your respect, and, we're just not being true to ourselves. Now, on the adjunct of that, you need to be honest with yourself. I know I've spoke about this many times before, so I'm not going to go over it too much. But unless you are honest about where you're at, where you're going, the tools that it takes you to get there, then you'll never live an awesome life. For you to be able to live an awesome life, you need to be very self-reflective and aware of the current environment that you're in. That's mega, mega important. So we Awesome Supplements, are going to be mega honest with you, but what I'm asking you to do is be mega honest with yourself, because that's how you live an awesome life. Secondly, simplicity. Everything we've tried to do with Awesome Supplements, and will continue to do, I don't make any promises that I have got everything right first time. There might be a couple of things that we change along the journey with your feedback and your help, because I hope that you're going to go and check this out, and that you're going to come back and say, Ben, I've thought about this, I've tried this, have you thought about doing this? Actually, that seems a little bit more complicated than it should have done. What health and fitness needs right now is simplicity. Everyone is so flipping confused of what to do. What to take, why to take it, how to take it, what supplements work, what timing to do it in, whether it's right for them. And I just wanted to say, look, here's a couple of ingredients. This is what we need. Take it in the morning, take it with food, take it without food, whatever it is. I've tried to make everything as simple as possible. Because to live an awesome life, you need to have a simple life. As soon as you overcomplicate things, you're going to struggle to have an awesome life. There's just too much stuff going on in your head, in your life, in your brain, in your lifestyle. Simplicity is really key. It's beautiful when simplicity comes together and works for you. Thirdly is transparency. Everything we do, we have to be 100% transparent about it. And I talk about transparency because I know transparency is a similar word to honesty. But when I talk about transparency, I mean more from a kind of ingredient and research perspective. We are 100% transparent about the research that we've used, what is there, what might not be there, especially when it comes to recovery spray. You'll see what I mean when you go to the website and kind of look at this material. We're transparent about the level of ingredients, the dosages, everything, because you need to see that. We can't be hiding anything through proprietary blends or funny marketing memes and complicated words and words that you don't even understand. Like, you look at our product labels, it's like I'll read you the product label of our whey protein. An awesome tasting, pure and simple whey protein for use in shakes, smoothies, cooking, and for convenient protein on the go. That's it. That is actually what whey protein's there for. You don't need it before a workout. You don't need it after a workout. You can do it before and after if you want. You can make it into pancakes, smoothie, whatever. That's what protein is. But companies are selling it to us as something magical. Almost it makes you feel that you need it. You don't need it. Like, you might not even take whey protein. I don't take whey protein. I take a vegan protein, but I don't have it that much in my diet. I probably have it twice a week, and that twice a week's out of convenience. You don't need it. So everything we've done, we've tried to be transparent about why you need it and why you don't. There's no elaborate, stupid, crazy, bullish marketing claims on anything we've done. It's like, this is this. We're going to educate you on why you might or might not need it. These are the dosages. This is how to take it. Done. That is it. Simplicity, honesty, and transparency all rolled into one. And then finally, research proven. Everything that we've done has been done based on research done in humans, not rats or petri dishes or hypotheticals. The only hypothetical is recovery spray, which I've outlined this kind of thought process on the website. By the way, on the Awesome Supplements website, there is videos, resources. There's just so much information that I hope that no one at any point doesn't know what or where to look. If there is any confusion at any point you looking at the Awesome Supplements website, then please say something to me. Say, do you know what, Ben? You haven't made this clear. I'm not sure about that. And I will change it. At no point do I want anyone to be confused about what I am kind of trying to educate people on and the journey that I'm trying to get people to go through. So the reason why I told you that is I want to get across why I've done this, why I've created this vehicle for people to live an awesome life, this kind of something that can allow people to become better educated on and take supplements that work in effective doses in an intelligent way. And you know what? I'm proud. I'm proud of some of the stuff we've put together. Like, I'm immensely proud of Daily Dose, how that's come together. Like, no longer will you have to take vitamin D, fish oils, ZMA. No longer will you have to take all those products together. It's all in one. It's an all-in-one product. You take a handful of capsules a day. Done. That's it. All the ergogenic aids, we've bundled that into Performance Blend, and you take that once a day. That's an advancement on the Load Up product that I made for Genetic all those years ago. We've kind of changed and improved that, and we've simplified it again. And obviously there's a couple of things that I've kept in the tank. Couple of months time, we will have some more stuff coming up. We will also have a different section to the website that I know that people that are going to appreciate AS, that will really appreciate this and how it will evolve. So this is it. That's it. Cat's out the bag. Done. Confessions kind of over. I've really tried to evolve what has happened with me for the last 10, 11 years in the fitness industry, how I've evolved this and why I've done it. And you know what? I would love you to go over to the Awesome Supplements website and check it out. We've launched. That's it. There's the grand launch. Thursday, the podcast. And you know why I'm doing this? I'm doing this because I want to tell you about it first. The people that listen to the podcast, follow and listen to a lot of my Facebook videos. This is going up on Facebook as well as a video. I bet that many people won't get it to the end. So the people that do listen to all the podcasts, do listen to the emails that I write, all these people, you're the people that appreciate my work. So I'm giving you a heads up. So Awesome Supplements has launched on my podcast my email list, and this video will go up on Facebook and YouTube. For people that listen and watch all the way to the end, Awesome Supplements has now launched. But it won't launch to the general public, so to everyone else, until Friday. That's Friday the 13th. They say it's unlucky. Yeah, right. This is lucky. It won't launch till Friday the 13th at 10:30 a.m. So that's Friday, 10:30 a.m. Awesome Supplements will launch on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. And obviously I'll start singing and dancing about it. So for the next 28 hours, or until then, whenever you watch this kind of video or audio, until then, Awesome Supplements is for you. You get kind of a first look in. If you want to, have a look at stuff, create an order, whatever, then now is kind of your chance. We don't have huge amounts of stock. It's not easy setting up something of this nature. It's been 12 months in the making. So we very much have limited stock. For example, chocolate whey protein, we've got 100 tubs. So, if you like chocolate whey protein, I'd get in there quick because there's only 100 tubs of the stuff. So little things like that, just dive in, have a look. If you are watching this on Facebook and YouTube, please don't share anything online. We don't want to share anything online till after 10:30 on Friday. If on Thursday, so if as a result of listening to this podcast or watching this video, if you appreciate what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to evolve and get across to the supplement industry, what I'm trying to change, then please do me a massive favour and share the message. At Friday 10:30 a.m, the main Awesome Supplements video, which is on the homepage, will be going live on all the social media platforms. So if you like what I'm doing and you believe in this message and want to support it, please just share the video, comment, share the video, engage, help me gain traction around this awareness, around this education factor. Allow people to see the ebook that I've created on the website that tells them they don't need to take supplements. Allow them to see the sports guides that will educate them on how to eat and move and stuff for their sport. Help me support this movement. This is a movement to change supplementation, and I guarantee you there'll be other supplement companies that will copy what we're trying to do, because we are doing the right thing. We are doing the thing that the supplement companies should have been doing 20 years ago. Being honest to their consumers, being very transparent about the ingredients, why they're in there, what they're doing. Not using athletes that are pumped full of steroids saying, hey look, this testosterone booster worked, look at me. No, it didn't. All those steroids that you pumped into yourself, they're what's giving you the physique. Don't get me wrong, hard training, nutrition, they're all very dedicated, but that extra edge is the thing that's really changed their physique. And then actually using research that is shown to be effective in terms of supplementation. This is what should have happened in the fitness industry for a long time. And I think there's going to be plenty of supplement companies that are butthurt, that are going to sit there and go, well, yeah, actually, this is probably what supplement companies should have been doing a long time ago. And I'm really happy that we're doing it. I am really standing behind what Awesome Supplements is trying to do, and I just hope you do too. What I would love to do is I'd love on Friday and beyond for you to let me know what you think. If you've seen the email come through, maybe reply to it. Maybe hit me up on a tweet, say something on the Facebook thread. Let me know what you think. You are the people that appreciate my work, and I want to hear what you think. Genuinely, I want to know. I want to know what you think of what has been created and the kind of values behind it. So that's it. I'm signing off because I feel that I'm waffling now. And I think I'm waffling because I'm just kind of impassioned by this next kind of evolution in my journey in the fitness industry and what I'm trying to get across to people and how I really want to kind of educate and evolve people's lives. It's just me trying to get everyone else to live an awesome life and really see the reality of what it takes to do that and the kind of variables that make that happen. So that's me signing off. I will see you next week on the podcast. Who the guest is, I've no idea. I haven't really looked. I'm just kind of thinking about, what I'm doing right now and what I'm trying to get across to you. So, look, Friday, 10:30 a.m., 13th of May. Hit me up. Tell me what you think. Please engage. And, go check out Awesome Supplements and let me know what you think. Ciao.